Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got done watching a DC animated film that technically doesn't come out for like a couple more weeks, but it came out on digital today. It is Batman Gotham by Gaslight. This movie is based on the graphic novel comic book of the same name, and the plot. The plot is, it takes place in the late 1800s, back when Jack the Ripper was a thing. So Batman, now existing in this world, it's an Elseworld story, it's like a what-if story. Batman has to go after Jack the Ripper, try to stop him from killing as much women and prostitutes as he does. Now, what I thought of Batman Gotham by Gaslight was, I did not love this movie. I didn't. Now, I didn't hate it. I don't think it's the worst DC animated movie ever. It's one of those things where I, for so many years, was loving the DC animated movie, especially the Batman animated movies. I loved them, every single one that came out. But I feel like lately, they're hit or miss. Sometimes it's like you get a great one, and other ones you get... Now, there could be people who will watch this and say, what are you talking about? This is great. This is different. This is new. Or fans of the original story, the comic book. I don't know how accurate this movie is, if it is a complete adaptation, if it doesn't change anything at all. So if you do already know the story, if you read it, and if it is the same, then fine, you're probably going to love it. It's probably going to be something for you. My problems were, well, first let's talk about the good, because I do want to be positive. The good is Bruce Greenwood does the voice for Batman, and I think he's a really good voice for Batman. He's no Kevin Conroy, but who is? He's good enough. He's done a couple of other animated movies as Batman before, so I was completely fine with his voice. The animation, the style, I enjoyed that as well. I thought it looked good. I thought the setting of it, even the fact that it took place in the 1800s, sure, it was different and took some adjusting to at first, but I got into it after a while, and it was almost refreshing to see Batman in a new environment, a new setting, even though it is technically Gotham still, but it's a different version of Gotham. I was surprised by how many of the Batman characters, the Rogues Gallery, just all of these other characters were in the film. Like, for example, Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy, was there at the beginning. She was a working girl, if you could say, and she gets brutally killed and murdered by Jack the Ripper. And it's one of those things where not only was I surprised by the gruesomeness, the bloodiness, the fact that this is rated R, they go for it, but the fact that it's Poison Ivy, it's a character that we know, and they just killed her right off the bat. And that shows that they don't care. They're willing to kill off anybody. Other characters in the movie that you know from the history of Batman, they get killed off like they're nothing. So I was impressed. I started to go, wow, they're not holding back. They're willing to take chances and go to different places. And, of course, you have Batman, Bruce Wayne's relationship with a Selina Kyle, and that never gets old to me. Every time there's a story of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle meeting each other, falling in love, or having some sort of romantic relationship, that always works. It does. They are soulmates, at least in my opinion. Seeing other characters like Alfred, Harvey Dent, Jim Gordon, and you even had these 3 orphan kids who, one of them I heard get named as Jason. So I went, wait a minute, are they supposed to be Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake? Because at the very end of the movie, they help Batman, and sort of Alfred's like, no, they're yours. You gotta take care of them. I'm like, that's genius. That's awesome. So all of these things that you hear me talking about, there was even a huge sequence at the end where there was a carnival and a Ferris wheel that was on fire, and that looked gorgeous in animation. So what's the issue? What's the problem? Why didn't I enjoy this movie as much as I probably could have or should have? It's Jack the Ripper. I love just the idea of Batman going up against Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is somebody in history that I am fascinated by. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was looking him up just because once in a while, I'm like, what's the story with this dude? What's the deal? We don't know. We never knew his identity. We never really knew. We could guess why, but why he was targeting women like this. So halfway through the movie, I kind of guessed that we're probably going to find out who this guy is. Obviously, the fictional version of it, but I came to peace with that and said, look, whatever they do, I hope it makes sense. I hope it's something that I can go along with. Spoiler alert! Because I have to talk about it. You find out that Jim Gordon is Jack the Ripper. What? Really? Seriously? Now look, again, I don't know if that was the original story from the books, if that's what was in that graphic novel. If it was, great and good for the people who enjoyed that. And I know it's an Elseworld story. I know it's something that isn't in continuity. It's not like it's flat out, this is the way things are going to be. But to take Jim Gordon and turn him into not only just a criminal, but a psychopathic murderer, into Jack the Ripper, one of the most infamous serial killers ever, did not bode well for me. I didn't like seeing it. It didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I don't want to say ruined the movie, but it's a big part of the movie. When you see the reveal, I almost just wish you saw either it was just, we never knew, it was just Jack the Ripper, faceless guy who maybe he gets away at the end, or just we never knew. Or if you're going to tell me it's somebody, then make it somebody that's going to make sense. Make it Harvey Dent. Make it Hugo Strange, who's in the movie. Make it somebody who I'm like, wow, yeah, I know they went for the unpredictable route. I know some people are going to enjoy that. I just couldn't get into that. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw this animated movie. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Is it faithful to the books? Let me know. Or do you understand my point of view, why I almost enjoyed this movie, why I almost was into it until that end? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.